Time Walk with Me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Time Walk with me. I'm the Time Walker, and I have another interesting Magic the Gathering rules question from MTG Rules and Judge Questions on Facebook. The questioner asks, if I copy Italy Primal Conqueror's ETB, let's say 2 times, how does the stack work here? Second copy resolves first, everyone exiles, and then I have to play the exiles cards before we move on to the other copied ability? Or everyone exiles until we hit 3 non-land cards, and then I cast them in any order I choose. As you can see, this question deals with the stack, a very complicated aspect of the game. Here's how I understand it. In a game of Magic, there are 7 zones where cards can exist at various times. The library, the hand, the battlefield, the graveyard, exile, the command zone, and the stack. The stack is where spells and abilities go after they're played but before they resolve. The active player, or the player whose turn it is, gets the first chance to put spells and abilities on the stack. During their upkeep, they can cast as many instants and play abilities of permanents they control as they can afford. The first spell or ability they play goes to the bottom, the second goes on top of that, the third on top of that, and so on. They then pass priority to the next player in turn order, who can then add their own instants and abilities to the stack. When they're done, they pass priority to the next player, and then that player does what they want and passes to the last player, who does whatever they want. Once they pass priority back to the active player, spells begin to resolve. The top spell or ability on the stack resolves first. Then guess what happens? After the first spell or ability on the stack resolves, the active player has a chance to add yet more spells and abilities to the stack. Then it goes around the table to each player in turn order, giving them all the ability to stack more spells and abilities to the queue. It can get pretty crazy, but it usually doesn't. Most of the time, the stack will just resolve from the top down to the bottom. That means that the last spell or ability added to the stack resolves first, and the first added resolves last. When Italy Primal Conqueror's Enter the Battlefield ability is added to the stack, it goes on the bottom. When it's copied, that copy goes on top of it. Then when it's copied again, that copy goes on top of the first copy and the original triggered ability. When they resolve, the second copy goes first, then the first, then the original. The questioner got it right on the first guess. The second copy resolves first and has to be carried out all the way before the first copy goes off. Then the first copy resolves all the way before the original. The original triggered ability happens, and priority goes back to the active player. Note that every time one of these abilities resolves, each player can add to the stack before the next one resolves. That's why they don't call it Magic the Stacking, but they should. The judge answers the question much more succinctly. The first one. You resolve one trigger and put 2 spells on the stack. Resolve one spell, then the other, and then proceed to the next Italy trigger. Excellent. I'll see you next time.